What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Beautiful Sunday morning. We're gonna ride down to the beach today, just get some scenic views, right? And it'll go perfect with the type of video I want to make today, which is how to make cinematic motovlogging videos. Now, there's a million of these videos out there already, but I want to give you my personal take. I've been doing this for 3 years now. I mean, honestly, I started back in 2019, but I didn't take it as seriously as I have for the past 3 years, and I really honed in some of my video making skills, learning both hardware and software. So we're not going to beat dead horses, right? You could find a lot of this information everywhere, but I want to give you my personal twist to it. So before I get into all of the technical specs and some of my post-editing tips and tricks, first I want to say thank you for watching this video. Give me a like, subscribe, comment down below what kind of videos you want to see. Yeah, give me some ideas here. What do you guys want to learn? What do you guys want to see? All the fun things. So first and foremost, you obviously need a camera that could shoot 4K, right? It is important that you run low frame rate. I will explain this in a second. I always run, when I'm shooting cinematic, I want the motion blur, I want you to feel the motion in the video, 4K 30, okay? I'm going to break these down very simply for you guys with not a lot of tech specs here. The lower the frame rate, the more motion blur you will get. But you need some accessories, especially for daytime riding or daytime anything. To be successful in shooting cinematic, I know that I just explained frame rate and how I shoot at 4K 30. You can also shoot at 4K 24. That's a little slow for me. So 4K 30 is about perfect for what you're trying to do, especially if you're motovlogging. In order to be successful, you also need to manually set up your camera. If you didn't touch anything else, if you set your camera to 4K 30, you have to set your shutter speed to 1/60. So whatever your frame rate is, your shutter speed will be double. It's that simple. And that goes for if you're shooting 120 frame rate, your shutter speed will be 240. And all the other combinations, it's always just double. That's how you get that crisp looking footage with motion blur. The key to cinematic video is motion blur. If you shoot at a higher frame rate, meaning that your shutter speed will also be higher, you don't get the motion blur. Everything just looks too crisp. You move your head and you can see every frame perfectly with no issue. That creates a sharp image, not really giving you the cinematic look that you're looking for. Ideally, if you want to shoot a successful cinematic video, you also want to set your camera's parameters manually besides the shutter speed, meaning ISO, right? You want to max out your ISO to maybe 800 for daytime, 1600 for nighttime. Also, your white balance, because as you hit shadows, as you hit white light, yellow light, your temperature will change. You could adjust all of that in post, and it's best to allow you to do that and not your camera, because then you're fighting the camera and all the other things. But for simplicity, you set your frame rate and you set your shutter speed. Everything else you can work on as you get better. Now, because you manually set your shutter speed, you have to set ND filters on your camera. I said set, but you need to install ND filters. So given that I'm in Florida and 9 times out of 10 during the day I have the harshest light you could possibly ask for, I run an ND32. I used to only run ND16s, and these numbers basically mean how dark is the screen or how dark is the lens. Let's see if I can't get you a close-up. If you guys can see there, you'll see on my lens there's it looks like a sunglass for the lens. That's pretty much all it is. Now, given that you are setting your shutter speed manually, if you don't have an ND filter, everything's just going to look completely white because your camera can't make those adjustments to get the brightness down. And how these action cameras really work is, to get the brightness down, they just drop the ISO all the way, and then in Florida lighting and harsh lighting like these conditions, they just ramp up the shutter speed, and that darkens the image. But because you set that manually, it won't do that. So you'll just have a completely white image, meaning impossible to use. There's no recovering it. So using ND filters is, you have to, especially if you want cinematic, right? So how I choose my my ND filter, well, basically I only use the ND32 now for daytime, and then anything past that is just the clear lens. But how you can make that adjustment is put the ND filter up to your lens and look through the camera, see how it looks. If it looks good, run that. If it looks too dark, go down one. You could buy these kits all online on Amazon for a pretty decent price. They're like $20-30 bucks. $30, $50 will probably be your high range stuff. But check reviews, because I never buy the top end stuff, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just glass, and I've never really had an issue. Wow, it's a beautiful day out here. Great fishing. Tarpon are rolling everywhere. So yeah. So that's basically the simplicity of shooting a cinematic video. Mind you, you have movements, there's a bunch of things that go into it, but camera setup wise, 4K 30, 1/60 frame rate, or shutter speed, 30 frame rate. You can watch some other camera reviews talking about how to manually set your settings, like what does ISO do, if you're not familiar with that kind of stuff. But once you get that dialed in, then we got to move over to post-editing. Now, post-editing, a lot of that is personal taste, okay? To keep it as straightforward as possible. Now, cinematic has its own kind of like style, but I've always been a fan of making a style yours as well, you know, tweaking it to your liking, right? Make it unique. So now that you have motion blur, you got your camera settings all set up, you shot the video, now you need to post edit, right? Obviously this isn't going to be a tutorial on how to post edit, right? We're on the bike, but I'm just going to give you some tips, tricks, and what I have learned about post editing that has helped me 3 years later, after I started taking things seriously. So first things first is, you want to get rid of all the, put all the videos in your sequence and chop up what you don't want, right? Get rid of it, right? Because if you're editing things that you're not going to use in your video, clean it up. That's basically all I can say. It makes it easier to work with because you're happy seeing what's going on. Second thing is, learn how to read the luminosity LUTs. Oh, looks like someone got something. Okay. Okay. You want to make sure that you're not blowing out your whites and your blacks aren't completely gone. But anyway, okay. So to get cinematic, I run LUTs, right? So I purchased a LUTs pack. I bought a cinematic LUTs pack, a retro LUTs pack. It just simplifies so many things because, you know, these video editing softwares they're pretty in-depth, man. They really are. So LUTs simplify everything. It's kind of like a filter, if you will, but they're a little bit more complex than that. So throwing a LUT on there and then adjusting your video underneath that LUT definitely helps for long term, or for should I say peace of mind, easiness. So you put the LUT on with an adjustment filter on top of your video, and then you adjust your video, not the LUT itself, but the video, and make changes there. So, and then you get the look you want, blah blah blah. So the most crucial part, time and time again, sometimes I even screw it up, is your export. So you can shoot in 4K 30, you can edit it beautifully, and then you go to export it and you don't make the right changes, you're gonna have a 1080p video or a 720 or just something super low quality, and you just wasted literally all of your time. Not necessarily, you just have to go back and export it again, but make sure that your export settings are set to 4K 30 frames per second. And then if you're using Adobe, make sure you check the box maximum render. Okay, you'll get your full quality video out the box or off the program, and you'll be good to go. So anyway, guys, that was a pretty straightforward video. Just wanted to give you guys, just if you're not checking all those boxes, make sure you do, so you can be successful in your video making journey. Yeah, like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.